Good morning, BSN. My name is Paul Adenkah, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to our Tuesday seminar this morning. This is episode 118, and thank you for joining. It's been a rainy day here in Lagos, Nigeria. I hope you're enjoying the weather over there. So it's time to get your cup of coffee or cup of tea and enjoy today's session. We're starting this session immediately. And for those already who haven't done so, please tell us in the chat which country, which city you're dialing from. It will help us to see and know where Zoomers are joining from. The Goodmorning BSN is organized by the BSN Impact Center for Great Leadership. The center is an initiative of the Business School Netherlands and founded by the Culture Factor Group. We currently have over 1,600 registered members across 65 nations worldwide. And the Good Morning BSN sessions are designed to provide practical insights, guidelines, and framework that you can apply directly in your working life after the seminar. These insights and tools are designed to improve your skills in one of the 4 pillars of leadership, which we at BSN believe are crucial to make a difference. And these pillars are responsible leadership, change leadership, decision-making leadership, and performance leadership. And every week, we take a topic under one of these leadership pillars. Our session starts at 9:30 a.m. Central European Time, that is 8:30 West African Time, and ends at 10:08 a.m. Central European Time. Yeah. Giving you a break before your working day begins. The Impact Center for Great Leadership was established to serve as a bridge between academic theory and practical business skills. And it also creates practical, micro, and continuous learning opportunities for organizations and leaders, providing knowledge and tools to improve management and leadership skills grounded in BSN's 4 pillars of leadership. The Impact Center for Great Leadership is available for in-company training to grow your talent and teams, and we provide research and other support for organizations that want to improve what they do. And today's topic is leading digital transformation in emerging markets, lessons from building tech-driven regulatory systems. The topic explores parts of change leadership. And for these discussions, we are joined by Udukheli Izebuno. Our speaker, I'm trying to be sure I pronounce the name correctly. I have to go online to get that name, to get the pronunciation. And we have Mr. Timothy Ajekiigbe, who will be our reflector for today. Just a brief introduction of a brief of their profile. Udukheli Izebuno is a seasoned business leader, technology strategist, and transformation expert with over 2 decades of experience across telecommunications, banking, fintech, and enterprise technology solutions. He is the founder and CEO of Goflux Service Limited and director of Checkoff Finance Company Limited, where he drives digital innovations, regulatory technology, and strategic growth initiative. Udukheli has led leadership roles at organizations including Globacom, Diamond Bank, now Access Bank, Carbon, and CWG PLC, leading large-scale business transformations and market expansion projects. He is recognized for leveraging technology to improve transparency, operational efficiency, and sustainable growth within emerging markets and regulated industries. He is passionate about leadership and systems transformation. Udukheli is also a thought leader, contributing to conversations on technology regulations and innovations in Nigeria. Good to have you join us today, sir, Mr. Udukheli.
Thank you very much.
All right, sir. Mr. Timothy Ajekiigbe is a business strategist and digital transformation expert with over 15 years of experience supporting SMEs, entrepreneurs, and organizations across Africa. He specializes in helping businesses leverage technology, innovations, and sustainable systems to improve operations, increase productivity, and drive growth. As the CEO of Uplinx, Timothy has led initiatives focused on digital adoption, operational efficiency, business development, and sustainable enterprise solutions. He's passionate about empowering businesses and young professionals with practical strategies for thriving in a rapidly developing digital economy. Good to have you join us today, Mr. Timothy.
Thank you so much.
All right, so Mr. Udukheli, you have 15 minutes for your session, Mr. Timothy 5 minutes, and after which we'll have a Q&A. Please kindly drop your questions in the Q&A box, in the Q&A box, so that we can be able to see them and have them answered. Over to you, Mr. Udukheli.
Thank you very much once more. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to be able to, contribute to the global discourse that we are having today. Let's see if I can share my screen. Okay. Great. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Awesome. Fantastic. Okay, so good morning, distinguished participants, and thank you once more for the opportunity to share this moment with such a diverse and global audience. My name once again is Udukheli Izebuno, and I currently serve as the CEO of Goflux Services Limited. Today, I'll be speaking on leading digital transformation in emerging markets, but we'll be drawing from practical real-world experiences, in building technology-driven regulatory systems, especially within the Nigerian context and then especially within our locale. In the next 15 minutes, I hope we'll be able to deliver a bit of the narrative and then a bit of that conversation so that we'll all understand where we are, probably where we should be and where we should be going to. Great. So I'll start with a narrative, which always comes to mind anytime we talk about digital transformation. About a decade ago in Nigeria, to be specific, everyday transactions were largely cash-driven. People relied heavily on physical processes, whether it was banking, whether it was gaming, even basic government services. So trust was built through physical presence, not digital systems. Fast forward to today, and we are witnessing a dramatic shift. Millions of Nigerians now transact digitally, from mobile banking to online gaming platforms to online verifications to communications online. Everything has now become practically digital, or is now largely becoming digital. And this brings me to say, should we continue to call it digital transformation or just transformation? Because every other thing in life right now is involving the digital life or the digital space. There's something digital about our everyday lives. This is happening. This move, this shift, this paradigm shift from just doing things in the manual mode or physical process has started, transforming lives, changing. But while this is going on, the technology is evolving rapidly. But one thing has struggled to keep pace, and that's the key thing we're discussing today: trust. The gap between the rapid digital adoption and institutional trust is where the real challenge of digital transformation lies in emerging markets, especially within the regulatory space, where Goflux also plays significantly. Now, let's talk about the reality of digital transformation. In our experience, the central challenge of digital transformation does not lie in acquiring technology. It's not just in the technology, it's in the people. It starts there. So when you look at it in three broad views and you say people, product, process, the most important, the central P there is the people, And so digital transformation in emerging markets is often, misunderstood as simply deploying new technology, but that's not it. In reality, it's far more complex. We deal with institutional resistance, for example, where organizations are deeply rooted in legacy processes. We encounter fragmented systems where different stakeholders operate in silos. And of course, infrastructural limitations remain a constant challenge in this market. But beyond all of this, the biggest issue is alignment. Getting people, systems, and policies to move in the same direction. At this point, I'd like to share 3 major lessons that I've learned in experiencing the journey of digital transformation. Lesson 1, and this was a very big lesson for us. Start with structure, not software. At the end of the day, there has to be a deep understanding of the communication of that value that is going to be exchanged. Why should I adopt digital infrastructure, for example? Why should I go digital? That's the question that anyone who leads digital transformation must first be able to answer in that transformation environment. So the first lesson I've learned is this: start with structure, not software. Technology alone does not solve problems. Without clear frameworks and governance structures, even the best systems are going to fail. In our work, we found that aligning regulators, operators, stakeholders earlier in the framework was far more important than writing a single line of code. So you could write all the codes you like in the world. They could be the best codes, but without an understanding by all stakeholders of where we are leading to, where we are going to, what the purpose is, then you're bound to, of course, fail. Now, lesson number 2. The second lesson we learned was build for reality, not for perfection. In emerging markets, you can't assume ideal conditions. Connectivity may be inconsistent, for example. User literacy levels may vary, and enforcement mechanisms may just be evolving at the time when you want to transform digitally. So instead of aiming for perfect systems, what we've now done is to focus on building adaptable, scalable solutions that evolve over time. We have an understanding that there could be local constraints which will shape design. We understand that we don't need to deploy wholly at once. We consume deployment in phases, understanding the dynamics, having cultural sensitivity, understanding how the environment works, and understanding the purpose. What exactly is the mandate of that organization that wants to undergo digital transformation? What understanding do we as consultants, do we as partners in that transformation have of that system, of that ecosystem, of that bridge? How do we bridge that gap of knowledge? This brings us to lesson number 3. Trust. The real infrastructure is trust. And I say that again, trust is the real infrastructure. Because trust is where proper communication sits. Yes, technology may enable efficiency, but trust enables adoption. Without transparency, without accountability, users and stakeholders will resist even the most advanced systems. So every platform we build is designed not just to function, but to build confidence amongst its users. So adoption requires trust, transparency builds confidence, and everything we do is to put the end goal in mind. What do we all want to achieve as stakeholders here? Those 3 lessons taught us that within digital transformation, at the heart of everything is leadership. Leading transformation in emerging markets requires more than vision. It requires execution, resilience, and what I will call context intelligence, the ability to understand and adapt to the unique realities of your environment. It is not about copying global models. It is about translating them into local success stories. So, to wrap everything I've said in a nutshell, I would say that transformation equals to trust plus systems plus implement impact. As I close, I'd like to leave you with this thought. In emerging markets, the true measure of digital transformation is not the technology deployed, but the trust that is built, the systems strengthened, and the impact that is created. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Udukheli, for that very precise, straight to the point session. We'll hand over to you, Mr. Timothy. Like I said earlier, please drop your questions in the Q&A box so that we can have them answered by our speaker today, and our reflector. Over to you, Mr. Timothy.
All right, thank you. Let me first appreciate Mr. Udukheli. You did a very good job within a very short time. This is actually not what is copied from a textbook. It's a direct field, experience shared with us this morning, and it's very, very valuable. One thing you mentioned that I would like us to look at again is your last line: transformation is equals to trust plus system and impact. This is very, very important. Let me share with you a current situation I'm having. An organization is moving from analog to a digital platform. And in the last 2 years, we've been struggling with getting the stakeholders, internal stakeholders, to use the platform. And up to now, about 40%, they are just using the platform, 40% of the features. And we've done trainings. So there are a lot of internal conflict, resistance going on, and it looks like, are we wasting our time, or we are wasting resources, So it's very, very important that trust is gained as leaders plan to move from analog to digital. So it's very important. And I'm also going to add this, that human resistant dimension is one key thing that leaders need to take very important. They need to make sure that that friction is taken care of ab initio. And then as we transform to digital, platforms, I think we also need to look at data governance. Where is the data going? Who is keeping it? At what rule? What's the rule? This is very, very important. Now in Africa, probably we are just trying to get our own infrastructure in place. All other infrastructure are probably outside outside Africa, and data goes there. What happens to those data, and at what rule? What is governing them? So leaders need to also take note, data governance, and what happens to those data. At this rate, we are having rapid adoption of technology. For example, in Africa, it's estimated by 2020, the digital transformation market will reach about $70 billion. And in Nigeria, we're talking about $25 billion. You see, so we are making such rapid adoption. But the thing is that uh, what's going to be, how are we going to marry this with different clusters that happen within the market? How do we ensure equity in what is happening? How some certain markets are not going to be left out. I think we also need to take note of this. In all, Mr. Udukheli has actually done a great job this morning. I think this is a master class in applied change leadership, and I'm looking forward to um, leaders in business across to embrace it, and I'm sure that we're going to get somewhere considerable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Timothy, for that wonderful session, helping us to put into context all that Mr. Udukheli had said. We would the floor is open for questions and answers. You can raise up your hands using the you can raise up your hands, or you can just type in your questions so that we can have Mr. Udukheli and Mr. Timothy answer the questions. Currently, we have people joining in from a lot, from, like I said, we have 65 countries for registered participants from 65 countries, and currently we have people joining in from Abuja in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, from Suriname, from Lusaka, Zambia, Rotterdam, Holland, Ontario, Canada, Cape Town, South Africa, Sierra Leone. I mean, it's a global audience. So please, let's have your questions. You can please, okay. Thank you. Okay, I'm just trying to read what someone is putting in the chat room. Okay, it says, Humphrey says, thank you very much for the insights, and thank you. Have a very nice day, and hope to hear from you. Okay. It's just saying appreciating the speaker and the. All right. So, do we have any question? Do we have any question? Okay. Let me try and see what we can do. All right, so let me just ask this question, sir, Mr. Udukheli. So, talking about emerging markets, right, which your session today was basically about. So, for emerging markets, we often face infrastructure, policy, trust challenges, simultaneously, right? How should leaders think differently about transformation in this environment compared to developed economies?
Thank you very much once again, and thank you for that question. For me, I think it stems from purpose. What do we want to achieve with digital transformation? So I'll give you an example. Say, for example, I have a state regulatory body for a particular industry. What does that state regulatory body want to achieve? What's its mandate? When we know what that mandate is, and we understand this is where we are going to, then we profile the players, the stakeholders in that industry, as well as in that institution that wants to undergo digital transformation. And then say, we would use technology to transform that mandate into a holistic, direct purpose that we can achieve. The moment our leaders understand purpose, the moment our leaders are able to express that purpose, digital transformation becomes 50% easier. Because where there is a will, there is a technology.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I also want to ask this question. Something happened recently at the Nigerian airport. The I'm sure if you're smiling, you already know what happened. You know, they were trying to introduce technology to be able to, I mean, make things better, make things work smoothly, and all that. But realize that for me, I feel probably it was deliberate that a lot of the staff, because they already used, this is my own opinion, used to what was already being done. When there's chaos, you enjoy the corruption and the chaos, and the minister trying to put in some things through using technology. And you realize that adoption was more or less like zero. The president had to give an instruction because this airport was more like a standstill. There was hold up, there was queue. The
Yeah.
president had, so in that kind of a situation, what should have been done to prevent that in a situation whereby people are already used to enjoying the chaos and the corruption in the chaos, but you're trying to make things right and you're trying to introduce technology, and you know that there was going to be a fight back from these people. How do being someone who has worked a lot with regulatory authorities, with the government, how does one make, what should have been done or to make that, to prevent that kind of a situation or scenario?
Thank you very much. This is this is a very fantastic question. And one of the things that I've realized in the digital transformation journey is that, and I think I dare say that Timothy is going to agree with me on this, that what we do is not what should have been done, it's what should continue. And that's what should continue is reorientation and education. Before the advent of the GSM in Nigeria, before the advent of, people could boldly say, oh, I'm never going to use it. I'm not going to use a phone. It's never going to happen. Not in Nigeria. But you see, because there was a lot of education as to the positives, why should I use this government provide this facility that government has provided for me? First of all, I have to see it as a facility that is meant to be able to do something. Human beings are inherently good. But if I see a reason why I need to know first, why should I use this infrastructure? What will it do for me? If I process 50 people per day using a screen, for example, a screening point, for example, and this technology helps me screen 50 people per day rather than me screening 5 people per day. And my KPI says screen 50 and you've done this, you've done well, you've helped these people. And I understand that using that technology is going to help people. It's going to do some good in society. Then I will most likely or most probably want to use it. Because I have seen reasons why I should. I understand why I should. I understand the process. I understand what it would do for me and do for my country. So that continuous education, continuous orientation, because if you do not understand something, you would fear it. So I would say, before we say corruption, chaos, we should say understanding. Because what I understand, I will not be afraid of. What I am afraid of, I will not want to go near. So we need to help people understand that the use of technology transforms not just, the people who are facilitated it, so to speak, but the user as well. When that collective understanding comes up, even the issue of corruption starts to lead back because there's an understanding that comes in. And where there's an understanding, there's the grace for growth, economic growth, developmental growth, mind growth. The mind increases. There's space for innovation. People begin to speak and talk and ask, can we do it better? Can we do this better? Jobs are formed, entrepreneurs are formed, things changed, development comes in, and the people as a society or the society moves forward together. I don't know if I've answered the question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. You did try. You did answer the question. Mr. Timothy, I don't know if you have anything to say to that.
Yes, Mr. Udukheli has done great job on that question. I just want to add that after the understanding level, the leaders also need to tweak their internal reward system to reward the users of that technology. They should there should be a drive, engineered drive to make sure that they do it. And one of the ways to get that done is to tweak the reward, internal reward system to make sure that anybody that is using this, gets some kind of reward. So they will, even those that want to choose the other way, they look at it that, okay, if we do this, this one will, if we take the other way and get some reward, it may land us into trouble. But even using this technology, we get our reward, without any negative event. So that can give them motivation to actually use that technology. And then leaders also need to look at um, to get movers within internal movers. There are people that are movers internally. They may not have big titles, but they have a way of carrying along others within the organization. So leaders need to identify these people and ensure that they are carried along in a certain way so that they move others to use this technology. If these are done continuously, I believe that probably we are going to have a better result. For example, that airport. Well, for me, I've not really enjoyed the impact of that technology. I've seen people posting it, but each time I pass through, well, I don't know, it's the same old the same old way. So if we put all those things into place, I believe we are going to get a better result. Yeah.
Thank you thank you very much, Mr. Ajekiigbe. For that wonderful contribution. One more question, which I will direct to you, Mr. Ajekiigbe. Magdalene is saying, trust is key, yes, but when it has failed repeatedly, how can leaders get stakeholders to trust again? Speaking specifically to Nigerian government and banks.
I know this question is going to come up. At a certain, I think sometime last year, I just decided to go into a banking hall, and I was so sad when I see the number of people in the banking hall, and 80% of them about they sent money and it didn't get delivered, and they have been debited, and it's already more than a week, and it seems that nothing is going to happen. So even now, people are telling you, don't use this, don't put your money there, don't do this. So people are like, no, 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 I cannot even try it. You see? So, and it's been on for years. I think the regulators need to come with a stronger, a stronger stand about these things. These things are not, they are not that difficult. When you go to other climes, you see it happening, as if nothing is even, as if there's nothing there. So I think the regulators need to come be firm about this thing, because if 5% of your customers are complaining about a certain thing, I think it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. So I would think the regulators in Nigeria, well, they are trying now, but then I think there's still a lot of improvements they can do to ensure that um, technology actually do what it's supposed to do. He is doing what he's supposed to do, and then we're going to gain trust from people. Let me also mention that you see at the time when we're about to move from, people are trying to adopt solar power system. What a lot of people, saw at that time was government projects that did not last up to 3 to 6 months, especially the street lights. You see them working today, tomorrow they are no more working. And people were like, is this what I'm going to spend my money on? But then that is also changing now because people are beginning to see that, oh, this thing is actually working if we do it well. So regulators need to stand to their feet and ensure that things work the way they're supposed to work, especially in the banking and government. Something happened. Somebody explained to me, told me a university, he was trying to get transcript from a university, and they said he's digital. Well, he paid and was expecting, emails to give him the progress of that application. Then they asked him to be calling somebody again. That kind of thing. So you have to be calling that one. That one is telling you they were not going to do it now. You need to pay a certain amount to some people so that they can help you do it. What's the meaning of that? So I think in all of these, regulators need to stand to their feet and ensure things are done properly.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Udukheli, in just 1 minute, I know you had a lot of dealings with banks. You had your background in the banking sector and you had a lot of dealings with the Nigerian government. What do you have anything to add to this?
I do not have anything I want to add. I just simply want to say that he has said it correctly. The regulators should take up a stand and say no to anything that is subpar. Everyone should start demanding excellence. The government is everyone. The institutions are everyone. The bankers are our brothers, sisters, cousins, and everyone. When every single person demands excellence, then excellence will have no choice but to be a part of our lives. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. It's been a very, very, very interesting discussion today. Next week, we shall be discussing another wonderful topic, and that's the culture-customer connection, why customer experience is an inside job. And we'll be having Pierre Reeves join us take us on that. He is a co-founder and managing partner of the Culture Architect. However, before we wrap up, I want to say thank you to everyone who has joined us today from various countries across the world. And I want to say thank you to our presenter, Mr. Udukheli Izebuno, and thank you to Mr. Timothy Ajekiigbe. Please do, Mr. Timothy and Mr. Udukheli, please wait after the session. Just want to have a brief session with you. All right. And thank you to our lovely audience for participation and for the questions. Till we see you again next week. Enjoy the rest of your day.